Oh, we are live.
Yo, 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 yo. Where you at? Where's everyone at? Because guess what? We got problems tonight. Frank Zilla ruined everything. I don't know what happened, but so we got issues. Frank just called me and said, "Hey, it doesn't seem like we can broadcast on Facebook tonight." And guess what? We can't. And
So we're still waiting on Jimmy.
Well,
I just sent him a new link.
I was going to kind of like introduce him and stuff.
Well,
if
he's like not here, so you can introduce him.
I want to throw it out there. Just, yep, our guest is Jimmy. That's it.
So I went to set up the show on the live stream on the StreamYard page, and suddenly the Detect America destination was gone. So like, well, that can't be. My magic fingers going. So as of 4/22 today, you can no longer broadcast third-party apps to groups in Facebook. Now, they have some back-ass way that you can still do it. I unfortunately didn't spend a whole lot of time figuring that out.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You just found it out, 10 minutes ago. But so you did put the link in the.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
how about if I do that right now?
Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, so when you put Frank in charge of stuff, this is what happens. Listen, I know you screwed Facebook up, but you could have put the link on the page to get people here. So I think we're going to give everyone a little bit of time to.
Hold on, I'm not sure if I posted the link to watch the show or the link to join the show. hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, no, that's the wrong link. Okay, let's go back to that, and we'll delete that.
I'm trying to load YouTube here and make sure I can watch the show.
Yeah, well, I got to go there and get the link for the show.
Now I'm making sure we're broadcasting on YouTube, and I wanted to see who. I have been having so many problems with my internet. I hope I don't get kicked off because my internet just shits the bed.
Hey, look, DA Live is there. All right.
Yeah, we're there. So
let me copy that link.
All right, good. So I just want to see how many people here. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give time for some people to roll in here. Looks like we only got 20 in so far, and we're never really going to know what's going to happen.
No, especially with that, especially as I posted it on pages.
So, and we're waiting for our guest, who's going to remain nameless till he comes in. Did you send it to him?
I did. I sent it to him on his phone and on his computer.
Okay, because we're still using StreamYard, which is what we use. And be good to, I don't know. So Saturday, I, along with my best friend Andy Sabish, attended the Lehigh Valley Metal Detecting Club or Treasure Club. I don't know what, everybody's got so many different names. Hunt in Allentown, PA, and we had a ball. And if you're part of their page, or even saw some of the picture I posted, everybody went home with at least a good pocket full of goodies.
What? pocket full of sunshine.
Oh my God, I came home with so much. I really did. And there's a couple wheat pennies in there too that just, brought it right over. Oh, I got to tell you something. So, dude, I was so mad. They did the poker hunt.
Oh yeah.
We had a full house. Kings over Jack. Well, let me.
Jimmy, our guest said, I don't know what I'm doing.
Tell them to click the buttons, and it's pretty simple. So, if anyone knows, what they do for a poker hunt in a metal detecting tournament, it's pretty simple. Usually, there's 5 people in a group. There's cards in the ground that have a penny in them. You go out there, you pick 5 cards. Whoever has the best hand wins. Well, I'll tell you what. Our first 5 cards, we had a flush. Now, why we got beat was because, and I knew we were going to get beat, dude. I knew it. There were jokers out there, which were wild. And they also let you go out and get 2 more cards. So it was the 5 best cards out of 7, including jokers, and we got beat by 4 aces.
Oh, no kidding.
I know. How do you? No, and you know what? It was the last team. Like, we were number 1, and we threw down the full house, and it got to team number 11, and they had the 4 aces. Like, you son of a guns. But I tell you what, a lot of nice people. I had a super time. And I even came home with a lot of stuff that just made it like, I'll tell you, I came home with 26 silver dimes. Okay. Let's see, 6 quarters, 6 silver quarters, 5 $half, a silver half round that looks like a walking liberty. All right, that's a half.
Oh, a half size round.
Yeah, and then this is cool as shit, dude. This is a dime looking coin, a dime on one side, right, and Ronald Reagan's face on the other. I'm like, that is awesome. I'm like, oh, I got a dime, but no, it's Ronald Reagan's face. It's a 2006 Ronald Reagan special dime, and that's pretty cool. Oh, and I even forgot. Okay, so if you paid for the extra hunt, an extra gold hunt, okay, it was guaranteed you came home with a half gram of gold. Well, I actually picked one of the 1 grams, so I locked up a 1 gram bar of gold as well. If you look in the chat, Miss Carolyn Cowling is in the chat. She drove up with me. We had a great time. She came home stacked. She won a gold coin, small gold coin, and she walked home with a half gram of gold. And among other things that she won. Oh, the raffle. She won like 3 of the raffles. They kept calling her name. Everybody was like, take her home, take her home. So we had a really great time. And so shout out to Mike Burns and the Lehigh Valley Treasure Hunting Club. Guys, if you're in the area, hey, listen, I want to tell you something. There were people that drove from like New Hampshire, drove 7 hours from like New Hampshire to get there. So took us an hour and a half. Tim and Kathy Lynch were there. They're the best. We had laughs, jokes, and giggles with them. Like I said, Andy Sabish had me sign his bicep, and he said he's going to get it tattooed, my signature tattooed on his arm. Just tell Charlene was there.
Oh yeah, I believe every word of that.
She's a doll. She's so nice. Yeah, and I recognized a lot of people from last year. It's a very well organized, camaraderie type.
Now it looked like a good hunt.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that they sold out.
Yeah, well, people. You know what? There's really hunts rarely ever not sell out. Usually, if it doesn't sell out, it's like over like $200 or something. But
he wrote us a letter and said, in fact, that's because he said they never had it sell out
right
that quick.
So it was $100 for the 2 silver hunts. They did raffles, served you lunch.
Somebody, Dan Lewis, run over to Jimmy's house and help him click the link.
It's really easy if you're on a computer. You just click the link and
we tested it today. It was on his phone, and he goes, send it to my email. So I sent it to his email too, but he apparently is having trouble.
Do you have to call him? Just put yourself on mute and call him. I really would love to get him on.
Yeah, I know.
So give him a call.
I'm going to mute myself and give him a yell.
Yeah, I'll talk while you could even shade yourself out if you have to. So again, folks, if you're just joining us, you know what we can do. If you're just joining us, we could, oh geez. All right, if you're just joining us, I'll start again by playing the intro music. All right. What's happened? It's not playing. Oh. Hold on. All right. Welcome to Detective America. Tonight's Monday. For those of you who just joined us, I'm starting all over again. Frank Zilla. This is Frank Zilla by Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know if you know it, but they changed the name. All right. So, again, it seems like Facebook shut us down. Facebook shut us down. Everybody's trying to shut this show down for some reason, man. We must be the most hated group on Facebook, the internet, or whatever. But man, how do I look all big fat headed like this? So my shout out to Carolyn Cowling for being my ride or die to the Lehigh Valley Treasure Hunting Club. Hey, the ride out there was we had no problems. We got there on time. The ride back was crowded, but there's traffic. But there's nothing you can do when you're on the. If anyone knows the Schuylkill Expressway in Philly, it goes from east to west, west to east, east to west. It goes back and forth, and it's like the only way to get. One of the only ways east and west in Philly, and man, it's 2 lanes of travel. And cars, it's just cars the whole way. There's cars everywhere. So hope everyone had a good weekend, because this was Saturday, man, and we nailed the weather. The weather was nailed on Saturday. Boom. It was beautiful. It was like 70 and sunny with a little bit of breeze. We just had a great time. And again, thanks to Andy and Charlene for showing up and being there. Andy's just a great guy. You know what? I didn't even get a chance to talk to him, because you know why? Everyone else seems to gravitate to him and have questions and stuff. And they were demonstrating a new detector that's coming out. This is cool. Quest. It's a Quest detector. It's like $190, and you use your phone. It's like a little holder on there that holds your phone, and you use an app, and boom. Joe Wells, you're being booted.
They bought the air detector that was out of the Ukraine, and they apparently beefed it up, and they're releasing it as the Quest air detector.
Oh, is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was really interesting. You're just using your phone, and it sounds perfect. You know what I mean?
I got Daniel Lewis. He's walking Jimmy through it. I think there may have been a new link generated. He got the old one.
Then you know what he does? He clicks on the new link.
I just sent him a new link.
So I'm gonna kill my granddaughter. I asked her to bring something down for me. I'm gonna have to ask my wife. Yeah, we got to get my man on.
Hold on, he's having trouble.
You know what?
I had trouble too.
Listen, now I'm starting to wonder if the Nemo was faulty or it was an operator error.
It could be the link I sent him to.
So, tonight, I'll put this out there. Tonight is going to be probably kind of like a part 1 and a part 2 series. As metal detectorists, I feel that it's pretty important that we talk about water safety because incidents come up whether you're on the beach walking or whether you're in the water hunting, whether it's fresh water, salt water. We're a good place to metal detect is hold on a sec.
I just had him settle up, so I just sat down in between the kitchen.
I'll tell you. Oh, great, thanks. I mean, I get. You know what? I pay for things around here, and I get yelled at all the time. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, Frank. I mean, it's a good topic. I think a lot of people understand.
Yeah, especially going in the summertime, hitting the beaches. There's
I can honestly tell you that one time I was detecting, and this is, a story. I was detecting in Daytona Beach. And man, it was weird. I'm walking in the surf, and man, the surf just seemed like really weird, like really high. Like you didn't have to go out far, and it got deep.
right.
Quick. And I'm watching this little girl, and she's in the water, and her mom's walking along the edge. Now, mom didn't have a bathing suit on. Mom had shorts and a shirt, so she was dressed. And it's just something that catches your eye that these swells are real high. And I'm like, this girl's out a little too far. I just was like, something told me she was out a little too far. And the tide was coming in, and I don't know why, but I couldn't just lay my stuff down in the water. I don't remember why, but I had to run up the beach, put my stuff there, put my stuff down, and then I ran out back into the water. And when I got there, dude, I could swear she was moving out. And when I grabbed her hand, the swell was so high that I couldn't touch the bottom. So she was starting to go out, I think. And I pulled her in, and her mom's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I'm like she was going a little far out. I was like, I got a little worried. And mom kind of like blew me off, and I was like, "Whatever." I did what I thought I needed to do. Well, about an hour later, I'm still on the beach, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and it's this lady, and she goes, "I want to thank you for what you did for my daughter." And I said, "You're welcome." I think that she walked away.
Out? I mean, was she getting caught? Were you sucked out?
She was going up on the swell, and then she could have very well been pulled out in a heartbeat.
Right.
And it might have been harder for people to get her back in or whatever.
Yeah, right. Farther out. Yeah.
I think mom either realized or was talking to the kid about what happened, which made her come back and say that. You know where it was? It was right in that area where we had that fight with that guy. You had that fight with the guy. I wasn't there.
Wait. Oh, that was down here?
In Daytona.
Oh, yeah. That gentleman was just simply having a bad day.
Yeah, but it wasn't that day.
No, okay.
No. This was another day. I was down there by myself when we had taken a trip years ago. So we want to next week we want to have Jim Glorioso on, who is doing now. See, this is another story yet. I'm going to get into this next week. I told you guys a couple of years ago, Frank and I were out on the beach in Atlantic City, and these two ladies recognized us.
Go ahead.
And they said, they said our husbands watch the show. So she goes,
Jimmy, I see Jimmy in the background.
No. So just keep Jimmy there. We'll tell him we'll get to him.
I was afraid he would hang up thinking he didn't get it on yet.
Hey, if it wasn't for Daniel Lewis, I wouldn't be here right now.
That's why I told Daniel on the show. I said, "Dude, run down to Jim's house and help him click that link."
Well,
We'll get to it after Jimmy. We'll talk
Hey,
about.
I know we did that. I know we did a rundown today, but anytime I touch a computer, people tell me they're surprised I can even turn my detector on because I screw up everything.
I was kind of wondering. Did the Nemo really break down, or might that have been operator error? I mean, I just hate to throw that out there, but
The Nemo definitely broke down. There was a problem with it. Now,
I know. I'm just joking. So
Well-
let me preface this. Jimmy Crossbones Tippitt, from down there in Florida on the East Coast, great guy. Jimmy had a cash hoard of gold coins from the 1715 fleet off the coast of Florida. He's got like millions in the bank from those gold coins.
He still won't tell me where he found them, but that's okay.
He told me he'd take me and call you from the spot.
Yeah, I can tell.
Jimmy, are you still the president of the Central Florida Club?
No, I dropped out this past year.
Okay, but you're in the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, right?
Yep.
So he's been around. He's had a detector for years. And as everybody probably already knows what happened with Jimmy, and that he's actually very, very lucky to be here. And so we wanted to get him on the show and first off say, we're glad you're okay.
I'll tell you what, Jim, if you ever have any doubt that you're beloved on the internet, the internet heart stopped beating that day when we heard this news. I mean, just everybody.
Well, the first thing I want to say, I want to thank everybody that sent the prayers out, and you just don't know how much that means to me. I didn't know I had that many people out there to give a fart about me, but I think y'all pulled me through.
And I want to get into it in a little bit, surprised at the effects it had, the damage done, how long you were in the hospital and all that. But I do want to start from the beginning. So tell us in what happened. I know you've told the story a million times, but maybe someone out there doesn't know the story, but try and tell us exactly what happened.
Well, me and a couple of my hunting buddies, we were down south Miami, and we was hunting on the East Coast, and we was hunting what we call a trough in between two sandbars. And me and one of the buddies went out at the same time, and we was hunting with each other. But I think because we were so close to the shoreline, water was murky, so we lost vision of each other. So we just continued hunting. I was gridding one part of the trough through there, and I took a breath of air.
But you were wait.
Well,
tell us how you were scuba and diving and your setup and everything you were using.
Oh, okay. I need to get into that. Now, I was using the Blue Nemo. I don't know if a lot of the listeners know what that is, but it is a shallow water diving device run by battery.
A hookah.
It kind of, but it's run by battery, and you're allowed to go 10 foot down, 10-foot hose. And no, it works just fine most of the time, but this particular time something went wrong, and it led to be the battery just gave out.
Okay, a couple questions. How many times had you used it?
Oh, at least a dozen times.
Okay, so you used it a dozen times. Now, can you tell me, most people wear a dive belt? Were you not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had weight around your belly to hold you on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You were using a detector. Were you fanning, or were you using a scoop or anything else in your hand?
No, we just fan it. We use the pin pointer to locate it once we fan it out, and run the pin pointer down the bottom of it till you get the target.
Okay, and you have a pouch on as well.
Yep,
Where do you put your finds on? You have a pouch.
pouch is on wrapped around waist, along with
What,
the
what,
belt.
what detector were you using?
A Manicore, Mine Lab.
You're using a Manicore,
Yep,
and it was shortened up.
yep.
Okay, I'm trying to give everybody a picture of what you were doing, and how deep was the water that you were in.
Probably anywhere from 6 to 7 feet, maybe 8 foot at the most.
But over your head.
Over my head.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
So 5'9". Okay, so yeah, so the water's definitely over your head. You're under there moving, detecting with the Nemo, and then what happens?
Well, like I said, I was scanning the bottom and took a breath of air, exhaled, and tried to take another breath, and it just shut down. No breath, no breath whatsoever. So first thing come to mind is, since I was in such shallow water, I'll just bounce up and get a breath of air. And when I did, I noticed I wasn't more than 12 yards away from the shoreline, the beach. So first thing popped in my mind, I said, I'll just bounce it up and down a couple of times and get back to the beach. Well, after the second bounce, I don't remember anything. I just blacked out, blacked out. And it wasn't for what I call my guardian angel on the beach. He said he seen me bounce up twice, and the third time he wondered, what happened. He said he looked out there and he said he could see the tip of my boots hanging up in the water. So he, of course, immediately ran out there and got me, pulled me back in. But shortly after that, they had the EMT and the Coast Guard and whatever, bells and whistles they had out there.
Now, where were you when you woke up?
I was woke. This is the part that gets funny. I woke up, and of course, I guess I was still under anesthesia a little bit, and I would see these strange-looking people walk past me, and it was almost like between a cartoon and a robot.
But you were in the hospital.
But I was in the hospital. I was down to Miami Hospital, Mount Sinai, and when I finally got my senses a little bit more up, I kind of figured out something was wrong. I mean, how did I get here? What am I doing here? And all that kind of stuff.
Right. Now, how come you couldn't take your belt off?
I had no intention of taking my belt off.
Okay, so
I was so close to the shoreline, and I started the bouncing procedure. Bouncing up, get a breath of air,
Get a breath of air, move up toward the beach. Yeah, okay.
To the beach. But
and
something happened.
So you honestly don't know after that second bounce. You don't know what happened or why you blacked out.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
How many years have you been dive detecting or diving even?
I got certified about 15 years ago.
Okay, so you're very much of a experienced diver, we'll say.
This ain't your first rodeo under the water.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've dove on the treasure boats before.
Right, exactly. So very interesting. So obviously, was there water in your lungs?
Oh yeah, they said the time they got me pulled out, I was foaming at the mouth.
Right.
So I did drown, I guess you would say. I did drown.
Did they administer CPR? Did you have a pulse? Were you breathing? Were you not?
I understood after talking to the guys, my diving buddies. They said that once they pulled me up, I was, coughing up water.
Okay.
And started breathing on my own. Yeah.
Do the doctors think that maybe you had anything else go wrong other than because you blacked out? What did you black out because you sucked in water? Did you what? Do they think that something else happened maybe or no?
Well, they really didn't tell me that. Their main concern, they kept me under I was out for 5 days before I finally come through.
That's incredible. So you
Really?
were in an induced coma for 5 days?
Well, I don't know if it was a coma. They were just keeping me under. I guess that would be
Sedated. They kept you sedated.
Sedated, right.
Were you breathing on your own, or were you on a ventilator?
I don't know.
Okay.
When I first come through, I don't know. They had me strapped down where I couldn't raise my arms up or anything like that. If it wasn't for my sons being there, I would thought I was dead or
Right.
kidnapped or something. And even then, after a little while, I even asked one of my sons, "Are you real?" Because I couldn't understand what was going on.
I get it. That's correct. I get it.
I just think it's incredible that you were sedated for 5 days.
I was in the hospital for 21 days.
My God.
They kept me. I was in the ICU, of course, that 5-6 days I was sedated. And then another week after that, before they moved me to another room. And then shortly after that, let me go.
So why were you in the hospital so long? And what did you feel like while you were there? I mean, were you like, go, let me go, I can go, or were you differently?
They were running me through all kinds of tests. You know how they are when you go in the hospital. They were taking blood out of me like I was a pincushion. And it seemed like, day and night they were coming in wanting more blood. I know for a fact I went through the CAT scan 4 different times.
No kidding.
And my son said, no, you went through a whole lot more than that.
What were they checking? Your lungs?
Well, they was checking my lungs, and they said that they noticed a bleeder in my skull. And they wanted to make sure that wasn't a rupture or anything like that. And they finally ironed that out, that it wasn't anything important. It probably was already there before the incident.
Now, was the lack of brain activity normal, or the same lack of brain activity before you went in the hospital, or was it after?
I mean, your scans were normal other than that.
Yeah, my mind was normal. I just didn't understand what was going on at first, but once I realized everything was fine.
Yeah.
I did have trouble walking. I did have trouble standing.
Yeah.
I had to go through all that. I had trouble a little bit breathing. I had to take oxygen in, till I got up to a certain point before they would remove the oxygen. Little tube stuck up in your nose.
So 5 days after, was your oxygen saturation low? Like how long did they think the water was in your lungs?
Oh, I don't have no idea about that.
Right. I'm just wondering how long that's.
Maybe
maybe that was the 5 days.
levels were depressed for quite a while. I mean, you were constantly recovering from that for days and days and days.
Yeah, I think that's might have been part of the reason they kept me under for 5 days, because they probably had a tube running down my throat.
Sure.
It was an ordeal, that no doubt about it. But I feel fine now. I mean, I'm ready to get back out in the water. Although my buddies got me what we call time out, where they stole my weights out of my weight belt. And then I had an incident where one of the EMTs cut my headphone wire, which Frank has been fixing for me.
They're winging their way to you now.
Good deal. Appreciate
I shipped
that.
them out today. They'll be there tomorrow.
Do you think maybe the Aquatex caused this whole problem?
He wasn't wearing Aquatex, thank you.
He wasn't wearing it that day?
I wasn't going to say anything about that.
Stop it. He was wearing Aquatex.
No, he was wearing his bone conductor. I don't know. Were you wearing a bone conduction? Yeah, you had to be. They cut him off.
I was wearing the bone conductors, the XP headphones.
You were?
Yeah. He's got. We don't tell everybody that we converted those XP headphones into mandatory.
Hold on. No, I'm catching you to a lie here. You told me. Wait, stop it. He was using a Manicore.
Yeah.
Yes.
How does XP headphones work on a Manicore?
Good. They work real good.
Your ass they work. They don't work at all.
Dr. Frank took care of that for me.
That's right.
It was the Aquatex fault.
No, I felt Jimmy's XP headphones fit on his Manicore now.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't bullshitting me?
No.
I don't trust either one of you.
Listen, I'll build you a set of headphones, Steve. You'll be able to find stuff.
Do what? You can't even put a broadcast on the damn computer. I don't want to hear your crap.
That's Mind Lab's conspiracy against me. Maybe not
Well,
Mind Lab, Facebook.
let me tell you a little bit about the Blue Nemo. There
Yeah.
has been problems with the batteries. I've heard from different people saying that their battery cut off unexpectedly. The very first, about the third time I took it out, always charge all the batteries up the night before, take it out, put the battery in there, test it, and then go out to the water. I had one battery shut down in 5 minutes. Lucky enough, I wasn't but 6 foot, in the water. So I called them back, and they immediately sent me another battery, no problem. So there's a trouble with the batteries that they don't want to talk about.
Now, I was reading, Jim. I was reading up. As soon as this happened to you, I started looking into that Blue Nemo unit. And apparently they have another issue where the cylinder gets a hairline crack in it, and it's been heating up the piston and seizing the unit up too.
Huh. Well, we tested my unit after the fact, of course, and it works fine.
So yours is definitely the battery.
It definitely was the battery. So on those Nemos, they don't have any whatsoever let you notification that the batteries run down in any way. I mean, you would think it would slowly be harder to breathe to let you know, but when it stops, it just stops.
So there's no warning whatsoever that this thing is going to stop, because I used to be a fireman, and we would wear air packs, and when the water started to go lower, the thing would vibrate. We had noticed that you were running out of air. The Nemo doesn't do that.
No.
Do they tell you that?
Even years ago, you could buy when we would go down with tanks. You could buy an analog alarm, and the pressure dropped below a certain point, it would just chirp in the water. I mean, the most basic of things. I can't believe they have anything like that.
Now I understand they have a new one out called the Nomad that I thought I heard somebody told me that they have some type of notice when the battery is getting low, but I haven't been able to notify anybody that can tell me that one way or another.
I got to tell you, I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and whenever someone's using one of them, I kind of tell them that of your circumstance where you were diving and had a problem with it and almost drowned, because I think people should know about that. And so you got the device back, and it works absolutely fine.
Well, I haven't been in the water with it, but I can, test it in the, they say you're not supposed to let it run and just there. So I set it inside my swimming pool, me being on the, out of the swimming pool and breathing through it, and it works just fine.
Now, do you know which battery was in it when this happened?
Oh yeah.
Did that battery recharge? Have you tried to recharge it? Or what's the status of that battery that was in there?
I have not tried that battery yet.
Okay.
I did not recharge it, but one of my friends that took the unit, when I was in the hospital and took care of it, he said he charged it up and it works just fine. So I don't really know. I suspect, in the manual, they tell you that the battery life is an hour to an hour and a half. And that's the only thing they give you as far as
and how long were you in the water before this incident happened, like approximately?
I don't know.
Someone just told me now the Blue Nemo is discontinued. That Chicago Ron was talking about that the other night. I read that in the chat. Had you reached out to Nomad at all about your circumstance?
I have not, but I do have an attorney that is going to be handling all that.
Okay. Now here's.
Now when and again we were playing for the show, but we built one. I built one, and of course, I immediately gave it to Steve to test because I wasn't going to test it. But on the one that we built, just out of that concern, we put an air tank so that the pump filled the air tank up with 30, 35 pounds of pressure, and then that went into the stage 2 respirator. And we tested it and unplugged the power, and you had like 13 breaths of air or something like that. Are they making one today that has a backup air tank on it? I know it adds a lot of size to the whole thing. I know that's one of the things they're trying to keep it small.
I haven't heard anything about one. I just know that they have a problem that they need to be fixed before somebody actually drowns.
Absolutely.
So what I found out the night I was diving around Frank's pool with the hook on was that the reason I wasn't getting air was because like all 5 of the guys outside the pool, they couldn't fight fast enough to see who was going to step on the hose. It wasn't just one. There were like 5 feet pressing on that hose. When
I could never. I mean, when we built it, it was huge. I mean, it wasn't practical. It was really, really big. But the secondary air tank worked like a champ. And I just even a pony bottle size. I mean, at the end of the day, if you had 4 or 5 more breaths of air, it could have been a different story for you.
Or it slowly takes you a little bit more breath to get a breath.
Something that lets you know.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I want to ask you a question. And so obviously you're going to dive again. Are you going to take different precautions next time you dive at all, or is your next dive going to be different than your last one? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, definitely. I think the next dive, if any problem like that, I'll just snap that belt off and just go to the top and figure out what's going on then.
Have you considered a pony? I guess they're called pony bottles. A spare?
Yeah, I really have. I mean, I've even looked into them, and that's probably the way I'm going to justify my wife getting back in the water and doing it again. Have something back up to to grab if I need to.
Right. In other words, you're going to take precautions. Are there things that you can put on your vest that when you pull them they pop? Is there something like that that'll bring you to the top too, Frank, or something? Is it
like a buoyancy compensator?
An emergency? No, like an emergency. The rafts pop and blow up. Like, isn't there something you can put?
Yeah, there is. I've been checking, and it almost looked like it says suspenders that you wear, but it's got a pull handle down the bottom of it.
Of compressed air,
something that fills it up, and of course, now
help
if you're wearing 40 pounds of weight, I don't know how good an effect that's going to do.
Yeah, then you're talking about wearing so much stuff that you can't move too.
Yeah, and the Nemo has a harness that you put around, runs the back and run across your arms like that to hold the line.
Keep the line from
the back down to your respirator. So you're covering up with some stuff if you try to put anything else on.
Yeah, I just like to see some type of precautions be, as a learning tool for others as well.
Yeah. It's funny because just like the some of the pinpointers that I've been around down in the water with other people around me with a pinpointer, and I can hear the pinpointer that somebody else is using 10 yards away. Why can't they have something similar to that hooked up to the Nemo that when it runs down to a certain point, or even a time limit, a timer on there? Now, I didn't have a watch, but next time I go in the water, I'll have a watch on and I'll try to keep better.
Yeah, but you know what?
But if the battery failed, then the watch wouldn't be worth a shit, because it wouldn't be telling you what. If the batteries failing too early, the watch is going to be off anyway.
And that's the thing.
I was told the batteries come from China, of all places.
That can't be true.
Yeah. Other people breathe at different rates. Now, I don't know about if the different rate of breathing taxes the battery more than others, because you might get an hour and a half out of one battery and I might only get an hour. So that's why timing it might not be the greatest thing in the world to do. You know what I mean? The best way to do it is to have some type of vibra alert.
Well, and again, and in the old days, we used to have. Well, the first set of tanks I ever bought were old. They were old and they were cheap, but they had a little line that came off of before the regulators would plug in, and it was just a tube, and it had this little ball on the end. And when if the air dropped below a certain level, this thing would chirp.
Right. Or what they could do is they put a little valve in the thing. Well, no, because now the battery.
Now it's so freaking they're so advanced. I mean, compared to the tanks I used to use.
But that's the thing is, those things worked, I think, on air pressure. Like when
they work on air pressure. This would have to
now we're talking about a low battery, so that's maybe
let's put it this way: when your metal detector battery goes low, it's got a little thing that flashes up. Basically tells you a low battery indicator isn't that difficult to do. The problem is that the only thing that's connected to you is the tube. You don't have any electrical from that thing connected to you.
Right. So now when the battery dies, does that lower the pressure? That's what I'm saying is as the battery weakens, does the pressure slow or
no?
Lithium-ion battery, right? Lithium-ion battery goes full charge until it's dead, then it stops.
Exactly.
And that's why you can't. That's why you obviously can't have a warning device.
Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere,
You're right.
Because it's not air pressure driven. Ours work, on the fire department air packs. They worked on the air pressure. When the pressure started to drop,
the Scott pack would ding when it would get low.
And it started going on, and as it got lower, it got dingier more. And probably the same thing with the device you're talking about worked off of the air pressure. So
I'm sure they realize that's a problem for them, and they're trying to figure out something.
I guarantee the next generation is going to have something on it. It's got to.
It's got to. Yeah.
Well, here you go. Now somebody is saying they read that the Nemo gradually declines in airflow performance in the final minutes of battery life, to gently alert the user that the battery is going to be fully depleted soon. So
I don't know, Jim. Was that gentle? Were you gently alerted?
Well, now that would tell you that there's a defect in that battery.
Right.
If it's normally supposed to die down where it's harder to breathe with air, that tells me that this battery is defective and it just shut down.
Exactly. And the other problem is that as a rule, a lithium-ion battery is supposed to be a full charge until it can't perform anymore and it shuts down.
So we do know that we do know that there was a failure in the unit that stopped the air from flowing, and we know that you're lucky as all hell to have survived.
Yeah, it was a big day. It was a big day around here. We finally got word that you were doing better, and everything was looking good. Because I'll tell you what, I never saw so many private messages and PMs and emails generated, whatever, and I mean all over the country when they heard that you had gone down.
Yeah, I'm still amazed. I still get people contacting me, well wishes and everything that. It's hard to take in. I mean, I think if it wasn't for all the prayers that come through, and of course my guardian angel, which is he was a fast responder. He had to pull me. I really think if I was in that water one more minute, I'd probably been done.
Sure.
And you know this person, right? You know who he is. Have you talked to him?
Oh yeah. I mean, we all hunt together. There's 5 of us that hunt in a group, and
so he was part of your group.
Yeah, he was hunting on the shoreline, and me and another guy was hunting.
Okay, because I was under the impression this was someone you did not know, and how do I put it? Like someone who's just like, oh my God, there's something wrong, but this person knew you and knew something was wrong as well. So.
Yeah, in fact, he does the same type of diamond, But he decided not to do it because there was two of us that was going to cover this one area, and that was a plenty.
So
They've kind of made, I get all kinds of funny remarks. They said next time I go in, they're going to paint neon yellow on the bottom of my boots, so when my boots stick up out of the water, they know I'm in trouble. They'll come
they
get
can just
me.
tie a helium balloon to your waist, and it'll always show like a bobber.
There's all kinds of ideas that came up that I need to do this, I need to do that.
So here's my question. Let's say a big hurricane hits the east coast of Florida.
I'm here. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah, you know, right? Your hidden spot opens up again. You gonna call this guy and be like, you're gonna return a favor? You're gonna take him to your spot, or what are you gonna do?
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, there's a lot of things involved with that.
That's just a joke, but
I know, but
that's funny.
I'm saying this. There's some details that may be coming out in the near future that's going to really surprise everybody.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah? Good.
maybe.
Hey, you going to break them here on Detect America first when you can? We'd love it.
If y'all have me.
No, you're never allowed on this show ever again.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of Steve. You're coming on.
The new co-host. Yeah, my God, Christ, everybody wants you as the new co-host.
I've got a story that y'all won't believe.
You
will not believe.
You want to tell it? We're listening.
I can't. I mean, I'm under one of these things that got Trump on it. It's a gag.
NDA.
Yeah.
Non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure, right? Yeah.
Well, it's you know what? It's when you can tell it. If you want to break it here first, man, we'll spotlight it.
Listen, I'll block everybody out. Just me and you now, Jim.
Yeah. No one's listening. You can stop the show, Frank, and we'll stop.
I don't see the meter down there to see how many people's watching, but I know there's probably quite a few.
Yeah, there are. I'm seeing 56 on YouTube.
But that's just this screen because it's a different counter for this screen than it is for the other screen.
Yeah, things are all different, but I'm watching it on YouTube, and I got, and tonight there would have been a lot more viewers on if it was being broadcasted properly, Frank.
Yeah, not my fault. Facebook decided that they wanted to change their rules today.
But you don't have to convince me that you're a good detector, Jim, because the proof is in the bag, and I did we see those coins, or we just saw pictures?
We saw pictures.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had them at that hunt or not, but.
Now, Jim's a good detector, so I just wanted to remind everybody that I did come in first at the battle of the.
I decided to change hats all of a sudden. But I was going to wear this one, but I knew that you was going to say something about it.
Mine's probably here somewhere. I don't know.
Jim
I'll go ahead and change hats now.
Jim said
I felt bad, man. We were talking. Me and Jim were talking. We were going to book an Airbnb together, and then. Didn't happen.
Yeah, we was gonna party down the night before. That's for sure.
That's all right. Don't worry about it, Jim. I got crushed in Alabama. So.
But Jim, have you been out detecting at all? The beach or anything? You still,
Oh yeah, I went out this morning. The low tide was like 10 o'clock here on the East Coast, and the beach has been terrible. I mean, they've been terrible for months. But I did happen. We had a busy weekend, no doubt. I got down there, and the first target I hit was a little bitty silver ring. And I thought, oh, this is going to be good. Rest of the time, 2.5 hours, 27 cents.
Yeah,
that happens. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
But
so we're waiting on some good storms to come in and, turn some sand up and maybe push some more stuff. But people are just now getting out in the water. So we're hoping things will turn around a little bit.
I see, like I was trying to tell everybody, next week we're going to have Jim Glorioso on, and this is why I believe water safety. You can find yourself in a water safety incident inadvertently, like your partner's on the beach and says, "Oh my God!" Now he went in the water and saved you. And I do want to tell the story of what Jim encountered on the beach of Atlantic City. And the reason he was in Atlantic City that weekend that me and Frank were detecting and we started talking to him was the anniversary of an incident that occurred to him while he was on Atlantic City Beach. And we're going to go through it all next week. And basically the story is a young boy we got rip currents out here, and
Yeah, we do
on
too.
our coast, they're pretty strong. They'll put, every summer people get caught in rip currents and die, and it's not always the victim; it's someone trying to save the victim. So the boy gets caught in a rip tide, and his father went after to save the boy, to save his son. The father wound up saving. I don't know how this all happened, but the father wound up saving the son, but drowning. And I believe Jim and others went in and actually found the father and pulled him out. I don't know the whole story. So, but what I'm saying is, as a detectorist and either as a hunter in your case, as a underwater detectorist, or a lot of people risk going out in the surf. I've been hit with waves before. When you're you're not just out there detecting, and you can't swim too well when you're holding a scoop and a detector, and I've been hit with some waves out there a couple times, and a couple times I got a little worried that I might not make it back in. Or you're walking along the beach and you need to assist someone that's in the water and being pulled out. So like I said, this is the first in like what I'm going to call a 2-part series of trying to bring awareness to metal detectorists in these types of situations.
I mean, and especially Jim. Jim's not a newcomer to the water. That's for
No.
sure.
Right.
Jim's
Right.
experienced in the water.
Right, exactly. And I got to tell you something, and this is no BS. You don't break my balls all day long. I don't care. But when I was younger, I was in good shape, and now that just the fact that I'm even older and maybe 5 pounds overweight, I don't necessarily know. I just don't necessarily know how much I could help in these circumstances of going out in the water like that.
Well, just the conditions though. Too, you know how Ocean City is with the kids and the parents all walking on the jetties, and you're not supposed to, and they scoff at it, they laugh at it. Well, a couple summer before last, I was there, and the kid slipped off the jetty. The father was no more than 5 feet away from him, and it was it. It was over. You couldn't find him. I mean,
It's gone.
Yeah, gone. They found him. They found him 2 days later, and literally he fell 5 feet off the jetty. So that's the thing. You know what? If it blindsides you, it's not. You really can't prepare for it.
And like in Jim's circumstance too. All right, I got a pouch around my waist. It's really not a problem, but you've got the headphones on now. If you finally say, well, look, I'm going to just get rid of everything and try and swim in. Now, if that wire gets wrapped around your neck, you now have a parachute of the detector dragging you back. Anything can happen.
I mean, but he even had a plan. He had forethought enough to know exactly what he was going to do. The bobbing out, catching the air, and bobbing your way toward the shore. And you know what? That's the thing. Stuff comes up that you don't expect. He doesn't even know what happened, which is amazing. It's just
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, I might have took 2 steps, and the third step might have been a 10-foot hole. I don't know.
Exactly.
And I wasn't able to bounce that high up.
Right.
So I sucked in air. I mean, the best thing happened for me is to black out, because I didn't gag, I didn't, take in water, I didn't panic, and really to blacking out. And of course, my buddy Carl being on the beach that pulled me out. That made a big difference too. But
and I'm looking in.
I really believe if I went through that gagging and drowning, conscious, I probably wouldn't even be able to get back in the water. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you never know what kind of trauma that's going to do to you if you have to, and you didn't experience it because you passed out.
And I know that I can tell you, there's stories popping up in the chat, but I'm sure a lot of other people have stories just as much as, and I'm only talking about the detecting incidences where
And the thing is, when this happened to Jim, and I said I looked into the Blue Nemo just because I wanted to see if there were any incidents about it, and there's a list.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
There's a list of incidents about it, and not just the Blue Nemo. There's incidents with other brands as well, but
right.
specifically when I looked into that one,
I kind of worry because, like we said, Jim's experienced.
Yeah.
So what about the non-experienced guy? And listen, Jim got certified. You can buy a Nemo and not be certified.
Sure.
That's right.
Now,
that was pretty much the point of those types of units, is that anybody can get one. Anybody can get one. Anybody can go in the water, and
not everyone has to come out either. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's the problem.
Because I thought of buying one, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't get certified. You know what the hell? I'm going to be in 5 foot of water. But look now of what's occurring. You know, so folks, this is another thing to be aware of. You know, we all fly by the seat of our pants, and I probably did for so many years of my life, and you know, you don't realize, but you see it, you know, especially water. Water can happen in an instant, in a heartbeat. They won't hear you scream. They ain't going to hear you scream.
And you know, that's the thing. Unexpected stuff happens, and that's why it's called unexpected. Because
and Jimmy, you're not in bad shape, my friend. You may have a couple of years on you, but obviously 50 feet off the shore, you know, under most circumstances, you should be able to get yourself out of it. Yeah. And you couldn't. And I'm sure you were very surprised at that too. Right? I mean, you really feel that, like you said you didn't panic. You didn't feel like you were in any danger, right? You just
right. I mean, I've been, you know, close calls a few times, but you know, not anything that I felt like I couldn't get out of.
Right.
I mean, I've been, you know, pulled on by the current where I had to take my scoop and try to stick it in the sand to get a little bit more momentum to push myself back towards, you know, where I could stand up a little bit better. But you know,
because that'll pull you out, man. I'm telling you that I think the Jersey coast is a lot rougher than, I know Florida gets rough. I'm not saying I'm not.
Well, yeah, they got on the East, especially the East Coast. They got some nasty rip currents.
East Coast is bad, yeah.
East is too, because I know it's kind of just, you know, I've been down there and looked at it and went, man, this looks just like Jersey. But I'm telling you, Jersey's got some rough stuff too, man. It's rough. There's waves that actually knock me over, and that's no bullshit.
Well, I've lost a scoop by getting knocked over and just completely, you know, if it wasn't the headphones attached to my ears, you know, to my head, I'd probably might even lost my detector. But I have lost scoops.
Right. We've all probably gone out a little further than maybe we should have. There's a couple of times I'm out there and I go, oh, I can't touch the bottom, you know, and you kind of want to be in contact with the bottom at all times, you know, but just when you can't touch the bottom, that's a kind of a little point to say, hey, I think I should move in a little closer, you know, and stuff like that, you know, and like I say,
well, that's one of my thoughts too. I doubt that I'd be getting out in 8 and 10 foot of water for quite a long time. I think I'll stay in the 5 and 6 foot range, you know, until I get my confidence, you know, back up a little bit more.
Sure, it's going to shake you. You know, it's going to shake you a little bit.
Don't you think? Do you think you'll, you know, get in your pool and practice there first?
You got it, bud.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean,
no, really, I'm planning on doing that probably this weekend. This weekend. No, we got a trip going this weekend. We're going up to Virginia to do a little relic hunting.
Nice.
Probably before I get back in the water, I'll probably, check out the Nemo again out in my swimming pool and just make sure everything is like it's supposed to be.
See, I'm getting my balls broke now. A tidal wave, a tsunami couldn't knock me over. A tidal wave knocked me over. You know,
I just won't give you no slack, will they?
I'm just a target here. That's all I got to say. But I can't thank you enough for coming on and telling your story. I know you've told it to a million people a million times, but you know, it is important for people to know. It's because you're experienced, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people might get overzealous of thinking, oh, I'm just going in a lake and this Nemo thing's gonna work, and what could go wrong?
And when you have all the confidence in the world, that's when something unexpected hits you the worst. Because
And then when you go, you know what, this is my honey hole, this lake, so I don't really want to tell anybody about it. Nemo, I'll be fine. And you never know what's going to, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Don't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
if I was out there by myself, then I wouldn't be here telling you this story.
Absolutely, brother.
And I also tell everybody, I think the Lord's got something better for me planned, but I have no idea what it's going to be.
Well,
I know.
We're glad somebody was there. We're glad you're still here to tell us about it.
It involves you and me and the coast of Florida and metal detecting.
I hear you. Maybe a little bit in the future, things will come out a little bit.
Like I said, you're a great member of our page. We really appreciate you being here, and we really appreciate you being here after what happened.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, you're the man. So, anything else you want to add before we throw you off the show?
Go away, buddy. Go away.
So, guys, if you're not friends with Jimmy Crossbones Tippitt, you really should friend him up on Facebook because he's got a lot of nice stuff he's found, a lot of good stories.
This guy's a hardcore detectorist guy.
And if you ever get to meet him, he's a really nice, down-to-earth and fun guy. And
yeah, let me plug my YouTube channel. It's Jimmy Crossbones, and I've got over close to 400 videos out, but I need a few more subscribers. So if any of you out there want to check it out, I would appreciate it.
Get out there and subscribe to Jimmy Crossbones on YouTube, guys.
Wait, hold on. Tell me, I don't know if I know I'm not subscribed, but hold on. Tell me what it is again.
Jimmy Crossbones.
Jimmy, just Jimmy Crossbones.
Yep.
One word or two?
It'll go into both words.
Okay.
Both ways.
Wait, Frank's picture just showed. Oh no, he didn't. Okay. Jimmy, I got Jimmy Crossbones 5454.
That's it.
You got 4,000 subscribers.
Well, it must have jumped overnight then.
You got 3.59 subscribers. I ain't subscribing now. You got too many people on there. No, I just subscribed. I'm glad because I like.
Well, a lot of those videos from last year, like I said, the five of us hunts quite a bit together, and we'll go all over the state of Florida, even up in South Carolina. And last year alone, from January to December, the five of us found 698 rings.
Okay.
I know.
So
I can imagine. I know what you guys are like. You guys are real pirates.
You're only about 695 more than me, Jim.
I'm gonna come visit you next time I go to Florida. I go see Frank, and what's he do? Forget the scoops.
Well, I hated missing Florida Hunt 10 this year, 11, whichever one it was.
10. We missed you, buddy.
Yeah.
I was laying flat up in the hospital.
I know. Oh, you were talked about.
I spent my 69th birthday laying up in the hospital.
Yep, we know. And we, you know what? We felt a little bad for you and didn't talk bad about you. That's got to mean a lot. That's got to mean a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that just shows me how much y'all love me.
That's right, man.
They'll never stop talking about me.
Lots of people in the chat, Jim, all subbing right now to your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, buddy.
So listen, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being on the show. Keep in touch. We're here for you. Just keep laughing. That's all I got to say.
We'll do it.
Because you're the man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Steve.
Good night. All right, folks. So there you have it. The story of Jimmy Crossbones Tippitt. It just blows your mind when you hear it. So we are going to try and get in touch with Jim Glorioso next week. What was the name of that he's coming out with he's doing a documentary on it.
Ripped.
He's going to be doing a documentary on what happened that day, and it's heartbreaking, dude. And I just tell you,
yeah, for sure. Like I said, if it can happen to someone that's experienced at Jimmy Crossbones, it can happen to anybody. That's for sure.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. He is an experienced diver. He's, and not, I don't want to be accused of not doing my homework, but anybody can buy these things without any certifications and just strap them to their back. And like I said, I almost did it. Would I have done it safely? No. I'll admit I wouldn't have done it safely. I'm not taking those.
Hell, we're going to take the one I built out. How is that safe?
Hell yeah, but you were going to kick me overboard. That's
the only thing I cared about building that stupid thing. The only thing I cared about was that power went out. That you could still breathe. That tank. I think right. that the most I got out of it was 15, 16 breaths of air after the power went down, and that just makes common sense to me.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I think there was more air pressure than that in there too. But like I said, man, if you guys are thinking you're gonna buy a hookah system and try it in your pool and say, "Oh, I can do this," and then go out in the water and even do it, you're supposed to dive with a buddy, but if you're going to do it, if you're going to take the risk, know the outcome, the possible outcomes. That's all
For sure. All right, let's give away something.
Oh, I can't.
Why?
How am I going to get any of the names?
We're on YouTube.
Yeah. And I don't even have a wheel left over from last week or whatever, but
there's a way to do it on YouTube, but I don't know how it is. I have to ask Michelle.
God, I know. No, don't. No, then we're going to spend 20 minutes.
All right, so I will give something away on the page, and then we will fix this thing for next week.
You going to give away a complimentary Nemo?
I'm going to give away a coin pack. I'm going through all my coins, auction off a bunch of crap that's been laying around for years, and I'll put something together and give away a coin pack on the page.
You do that. My job is done here. So you're going to contact Jim Glorioso. We got him.
I already contacted him. I'll touch base with him during the week. He's good. He's good for next week.
Good. It'll be our second in a 2-part series.
And then Steve's going to be solo talking about what an awesome detectorist I am.
No, I'm not. So, what else is going on? Anything?
Nada. I'm building like a mad person. I just shipped out like 50 headphones.
Good. So. Well, I was talking to Tim Lynch about the Aquatex. He said he loves them.
Yeah, he's coming down here come down here in the summer, we're gonna go out.
That's right. He's going down to Clearwater, and you better go hang out with him and Kathy because they're funny. We had a good time. We had, it was good to see them. He says he's going to put me on one of his videos.
As what?
What do you mean as what? We're going to go detecting, and I'm going to get to be on one of his videos.
Oh, I thought you were going to do recreate the Macy's parade or something. You're going to have a
yeah.
Down the road or some shit.
I got to tell you, I don't. You know how many times we've tried to video our detectings and stuff?
Well, you have to have someone there that doesn't detect.
Well, no, they wear them on their chest.
Yeah, but I tried that. I wear them on my chest, and you're staring at my crotch because the camera tilts down or something.
Yeah, you know what? I'm too much into the detecting. You know what I mean?
It's different when we're not finding anything. Then you can film the guy that finds an Indian head. But when you're finding stuff like crazy, nobody wants to stop and film it.
Nobody wants. We
used to. We used to put out a lot of videos.
I know. Look, I found something, run over and film it, but we don't even care anymore. I'm like, oh, look what you found. I'm going to start a new production company.
Frank's Finds was calling it. It's going to be called Steve Filming Frank's
I
Finds.
mean, real short story. Real short story. So, all right, I'm out. Listen,
All right,
great.
guys, look on the page. I'm gonna have a special little giveaway on the page either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do it on the show tonight because Steve screwed up the wheel or something. I don't know. The
Um,
story's not important.
I thought that was a great.
No, it was good. No, we've
like
been talking about this forever. We've been dying to get him on, and
Yeah.
it was up to Jim when he was going to come on and talk about it.
Right. So, yeah, and then next week talking to Jim about this story is going to be pretty intense also. And then we had someone else we were thinking about getting on the show. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, the guy from that TV show.
Oh, he won't answer. He's we're little people.
He's like me when I first filmed my episode of Expedition Unknown.
All right, goodbye. You know how to get rid of me real fast, don't you?
Well, I'm just saying,
well,
your head gets full of all this stardom.
No, your head got full of hot air, a bunch of hot air. What else? Oh, yo, dummy. Did you really believe you were going to win a camper? Did you really believe you were going to win a camper?
So,
and then all of a sudden,
a few years ago, I started a Facebook page, Detecting and RVing. And it's actually still active. I think there's like 10 members. And this company has been on that page of mine for years. So when it popped up, I was like, "It's no big deal." I filled it out. I filled it out a million times.
But wait, this is my question. Do you really believe they're giving away a camper? This is what I'm trying to understand is, do you really believe
whether they were giving it away or they weren't giving away, this group has never been a problem on my page. There's never been complaints about it. So I really didn't care.
And you didn't know about the highlight thing?
There's something new about at highlight. I never saw it before.
Yeah, it's like that.
At highlight. So I did, and then I started getting PMs. Yo, are you hacked? I'm getting RV fucking getting RV posts now. I'm like,
Right. It's just
but
like
needless to say, I'm not doing that anymore.
It's just like when you type at everyone.
Yeah, well, I just thought this was something new. They were going to highlight me, but
well, I think it's funny. You think you're going to win the damn camper.
Listen, it was a cool little camper.
It was cool. Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful. They put the really nicest ones up there and say, "Oh, we're giving it away." Just like the ones where they put a picture of a house and go, "My grandpa had to move out."
Oh yeah.
And one is we're either giving all the stuff away in it, and there's all brand new refrigerators and that, or when they say rent to own, you can rent this for $500 a month to own it.
Yeah, it's a dollar of that a month goes to buying it. Yeah, so in 5,000 years, you can own this house.
It's totally a scam. No, it's not even a real house. It's all fake. It's a scam.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
I talked to a guy today who needed to rent a place real fast, and somehow his coworker told him that his aunt knew someone renting a house. Well, next thing you know, he's renting the house without even seeing it and sending money to an unknown person on Cash App.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah, and he lost $1,250.
Yeah. So when the owners came home and found somebody in their house.
No, he never even went to that. He didn't even know where the house was.
Oh God.
It didn't even get that far. He just sent them a deposit. He goes, I thought it was too good to be true. Keywords, if it's too good to be true.
Look, for a mere $1,000, I'm giving online Zoom classes on how to be famous on Expedition Unknown.
I was going to say, well,
just put it out there.
Why don't you teach everybody how to use StreamYard? Because you're doing a hell of a job with it.
That is not my fault.
Oh,
they suddenly told me I couldn't stream to my page anymore. I can stream to anyone, like 50 of the other pages that nobody goes to, but I can't stream to my Detective America page.
Well, all right, guys. So look, we'll be back next week. Rock it out. Thanks for being with us. And have a good night.
See you guys.